on the Colts. I think the Colts are the team that is best built to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, to your point, Charlie, like I could see almost any team coming out of the AFC. I think the Chiefs are the team to beat. The reason I say the Colts are, one, on both sides of the football, they control the line of scrimmage. I think it's the best offensive line outside of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the NFL. Their run game is diverse. It's also got the ability to go the distance. It's one that 5-6 yard runs, but go the distance. Their defensive line is absolutely fantastic. They're one that can stop the run and get after the quarterback, and they're a coverage-based unit. That zone coverage that's built on two-high scheme and coverage guys in rotation that we know has given the Chiefs some issues throughout the season. There is a question at the quarterback for some people, and that is fair. They don't have the most explosive passing game in the NFL, but because of the way they dominate the line of scrimmage on both sides of the football, I think if that team plays their best game or their A game, they're most equipped to beat the Kansas City Chiefs and knock them off.
I love it.
I want to talk about a team that swept the Indianapolis Colts this year, okay, and that's the Tennessee Titans. And I don't know of many teams that has had as many injuries as the Tennessee Titans, particularly with some of the big name players that they've had. We all know about King Henry. There's not a team that has that one player identity is tied more to than Tennessee Titans and King Henry. That he means that much to that program. Obviously, Julio Jones has been dealing with a plethora of injuries, and he's missed significant time. A.J. Brown has missed significant time. I mean, I could go on and on about a lot of the big name players that have missed time with the Tennessee Titans. But I think that the thing that I want to talk about is through all of that, the job that Mike Vrabel has done, staying true to who he is as a coach, staying true to what their identity is. Dan, did you know that, even with King Henry being out, they rushed for more yards than when King Henry was in there? That is just phenomenal considering all the injuries and, with all the skill position players that they have. This is the team, they've beaten the Chiefs, okay? Like I said, they swept the Colts. They beat they out in Los Angeles with the Rams when King Henry went out early in that game. Yeah. They still found a way to dominate the Rams in Los Angeles. So they're getting back a lot of their pieces at the right time. So when I talk about a team that I think when the arrow is trending in the right direction, and they were able to, they possibly able to secure home field advantage in the playoffs, that's the Tennessee Titans for me.
So, listen, I don't all that disagree with you on the Titans. I would tell you that I think the Titans have the executive of the year in John Robinson and the assistant coach of the year in Todd Downing, who took over for their offensive coordinator role. I think the Titans are fantastic. The Titans were the team that we talked about a lot in like September and mid-October, and then we haven't talked a lot about them because the thing that made them different than everybody else in the NFL were those three skill position guys, A.J. Brown, Julio, and Derrick Henry, because of their physicality, like the size. No one else has the skill guys with that size. The reason that I would say that I'm still a little hesitant on Tennessee is because I don't know if those guys are reliable when it comes to their health. Like, I think what Derrick Henry has done is absolutely remarkable, getting back to being able to run right now. But what kind of version or how much of a percentage of Derrick Henry are we going to get? I think we're all excited and hopeful that it's like that 90%, 100% Derrick Henry. But I don't know. We don't know. And I think Derrick Henry is the difference. Or I think those three skill position guys are the difference between this team being a real Super Bowl contender and one that's just kind of a good story this season. So I don't know what I'm going to get out of him with his health. And I'm hopeful that it's awesome. The same could be said about those two receivers. Julio has been in and out of the lineup for 3 months. If Julio doesn't play and the hamstring acts up, that is a huge impact to their football team. The same with A.J. Brown, where I don't think like if the Colts are as healthy as they can be and the Titans are as healthy as they can be, yes, I would say the Titans. But I just don't have, you see how I'm trying to pronounce that with Titans? I don't have like the confidence that those three stars are going to remain fully healthy for this run. That's my difference.
Okay, well, obviously health is one of those. Go ahead, Damien.
Yeah, listen, I think another thing that I'm going to point out as far as the Indianapolis Colts are concerned is last week's game against the Raiders. I think that was a blow to the Indianapolis Colts. The fact that Jonathan Taylor rushed for over 100 yards And we know that, him running over 100 yards prior to that game, they were undefeated. They ended up losing to the Las Vegas Raiders, at home. I think it dents them a little bit. The fact that the quarterback, and we've talked about the skill position players for the Tennessee Titans. We talked about the skill position players for the Tennessee Titans. But Carson Wentz, Dan, come on now. Can we really sit here, and I know you love Carson Wentz, but can you really sit here and feel confident? Can feel confident that if the Indianapolis Colts is going against the Tennessee Titans, are you confident in Carson Wentz that he's able to make the requisite plays to go out there and win playoff games?
Yeah, I'm the same confidence I was when everyone said he stunk last year in Philadelphia, and I said he's going to go to Indy and he's going to play really good football, and he's done just that. You can't. Two things. I actually think that what happened against Jacksonville will be the best thing that happened to Indy. The quarterback didn't practice all week. A bunch of them were, you saw Darius Leonard talk about it on Hard Knocks. Practice was bad. Like, they just played if you think differently about the Indianapolis Colts today than you did Saturday before their game of last weekend, that's on you. I think of them the same exact way. They were all sick, they didn't practice, they didn't prepare well, and they played poorly.
Oh, Dan, don't give me those excuses. Come on. Like, everybody's dealing with COVID and sicknesses and all that. Come on, man. Like
everybody's been impacted by it.
As a cop-out right now?
All right.
Damien,
I'll tell you what I told the live crew. Save this clip.
Damien, it's 2 against 1 here. I'm not going against the Colts, so Dan, you're my guy. Thank you so much for being strong in your conviction.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.